Just a quick little video I wanted to make because I noticed something. I'm wondering if there's a little more to it. I think this is the first time you've seen me playing Animal Crossing. If it isn't obvious by now, the two genres of game I really like are... Hey, Cherry. The two genres of game I like are either comfy as hell or the least comfy thing you could possibly think of, i.e. Souls-likes. Anything From Software makes. Right? And the Twitch saga continues. I still, about 80% of the people who wander into stream have the same sort of script they're running off of. They ask you how your day is going. Howdy, KK. They often ask about the weather. They're really interested in the weather and where you're from. Which, you know, that first one's just kind of a neutral talking point. The other is the standard curiosity. I have a tendency in person to call people mate a lot. Mate and bud are like my two favorite go-tos. And I've had several people ask me if I'm Australian, and I'm not. I'm Midwestern, United States. Right? So that's normal. But they always manage to somewhat segue. They always talk about this game, or, how are you enjoying this? What other kind of games do you like to play, etc., etc. And then after kind of trying to string you along for, a good 5 minutes, they'll suddenly say, hey, why don't you have any custom banners and yada, 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 and do you want to buy some of this stuff? Because I'm an art designer, by the way. Like 80% of the small Twitch stream viewership appears to be people who are probably trying to scam you into buying AI-made art assets. Or just cheaply made ones. I don't know which one. And you can also usually clock these people by checking to see how old their account is. They almost always have an account that's at least less than a month old. I've seen some of them come in, their account was literally made 16 minutes ago, and they're like, oh, I love watching people who are playing this sort of thing. I'm like, really now, do you, buddy? But you want to know which game gets actual, genuine, real human interaction? Freaking Animal Crossing. Like, for whatever reason, I had a couple of guys wander in yesterday when I was just doing an emergency fishing tournament stream. Because for whatever reason, I hadn't done the spring fishing tournament, and I hadn't gotten my gold badge. And I got home at like 5:50. I actually had to turn the clock back on my Switch in order to have time to do it, because the event ends at 6. And then after that, I threw on Elden Ring for a little bit. One of the guys who was still kicking around after I gave him the tour, still stuck around for a minute. He was a cool guy. Yeah, you can let yourself into the tomb here. And I'm just kind of wondering if there's any, particular reason why, of all things, Animal Crossing, and to a lesser extent Pokopia, which is also a comfy game, just seem to have actual more humans playing it than what I guess you could say hardcore games. And the thing I'm kind of thinking is, most of the popular streamers, like the ones who are making big views and getting good money, they're not usually playing comfy games that don't have any sort of competitive lean to them. It's mostly other people who are playing Animal Crossing and are like, hey, I want to see the theme of your island. The theme of my island, which this is the V1 of, I'm going to have to redo at some point just to clean it up, is 80s and 90s era JRPG. Right? And Pokopia is a little bit less freeform when it comes to that, at least until the end of the game, because they give you preset locations that are, you know, themed and actually based off of locations in the first. Damn it! I still can't get the DIY for the decayed tree. So yeah, basically until you get to spoilers, Pallet Town, where you're just kind of allowed to do whatever you want. The game doesn't quite have that freeform, super creative flair to it. So it's a little bit less of a comfy game, I guess you could say, than Animal Crossing is. So if you're trying to sell something to somebody who's trying to make it big in streaming, you're not going to target someone who's playing Animal Crossing. You're going to target someone who's playing, you know, Elden Ring. And also another thing that gets you a little bit more genuine interaction is playing at least slightly older, like more obscure games. For example, I get more genuine interaction playing Armored Core, AC6 I should say, specify, than you do playing, you know, Elden Ring, Crimson Desert, or anything like that. Pro tip that everybody knows: if you customize a piece of equipment, it'll completely restore its durability. So after I get done bashing all my rocks, I always make sure to give my shovel a paint job, because that apparently restores the integrity of iron or plastic, whichever that colorful shovel is supposed to be. I can't tell. Yeah, see there, you can see I got both the silver and the gold trophy just in one almost 2-hour-long marathon session. And you can tell I've been playing the game for a bit because my inventory is over what the maximum was when the game even first came out. I usually spend, if I get a chance, I spend about a half hour playing this just to do all my daily stuff, make sure I'm collecting a reasonable amount of resources every day. We're gonna have to sell that for Nook Miles later. Which reminds me, what have I got big bonuses on? I gotta go out into the ocean, catch a few more fish, and I'm gonna change my shoes. So we'll just come to the home away from home. This is a wardrobe. There. Literally put on new shoes, game gives me points. It's a miracle. Also a pro tip, fish will hit a maximum of 5 times. So if he nibbles on it 4 times, he's always going to go for it on number 5. Also, you want to walk along the beach, because if you start running and you don't stop when you see a shadow fast enough, he will just up and leave you. You'll do. Yoink. I really wish they put a little bit more variety into the wetsuits. Like, there just really aren't any good wetsuits that look half decent and come in my color palette. Barnacle. So yeah, I guess that's more or less my advice to budding Twitch streamers. If you're trying to get big, and you're not view botting or anything, most of the people who come in are specifically going to be trying to sell you on something. And if you're just looking to actually, have people to come in and chill and, just chat and whatnot, comfy games or older games, even just relatively older games. Hell, I remember when I was finally trying to complete Armored Core 6 because I kind of got distracted and stopped playing for a good long time. I was specifically going on my way to S-rank everything, get all the items, get all the achievements, and some dude who just knew exactly what he was doing came in and was all like, "Hey bud, you want me to tell you where all this stuff is so you don't have to go to a wiki page or something?" I was like, "Hell yes, dude, hit me up." And he absolutely did that. It was awesome. Alright, I guess I gotta also talk to a couple of just regular villagers. Now I gotta find whoever is up at, Here's Boomer. Yeah, so I forgot to reset my clock after I was done doing a little bit of very light time traveling. So, despite the fact that it says it's 7:38 right now, the game thinks it's 5:39 actually, because it gets just ticked over. Which makes it difficult to talk to 3 villagers because everybody's still sleepy. We'll see if Goose is awake. Gonna have to run through the spooky woods. Once we're out of the spooky woods, we'll get into the happy fairy woods. Yeah, I'm not like a pro designer or anything. I just kind of slap stuff down. Vivian's still at home. Margie's asleep. She was asleep. I'm gonna have to log back in for a little bit later today anyway in order to sell all my excess inventory. So I think I'll call it there. Anyway, yeah, just a little bit of a thought. Take care, bud. There I go again.